Hey guys, if you have watched my previous video, then you know I've been traveling a lot, and this was my birthday weekend. Our family was invited by my cousin to Vada, which is a remote place near Maharashtra, another 2-hour drive from Mumbai where I live. The plan was for family get together and potluck with barbecue. So, me being the Bakasur Mama, I was given the challenge to make the best barbecue marinades, freeze them, and get them along. So I made 3 types of tandoors along with some chicken liver roast. This was a restaurant style liver masala, so do keep watching the video till end. So the night when I had to marinate everything and kept it prepared, I decided to make my simple egg curry. Now this is a floating egg curry, which is an interesting and super easy egg curry to go along with rice. To start with, we may have to make a simple coconut curry base. For this, I have added some coconut to my mixer jar. Add 8 to 10 cloves of small garlic pieces. If you have the bigger ones, then add just 5 to 6. A small piece of ginger. 3 to 4 chilies depending upon the size. A teaspoon of coriander seeds and a little bit of a water. Adjust the water according to the paste that you will be grinding in the mixer jar. Grind it to a fine paste. On the other side, I have placed a pan on a heat. This is a flat base pan because we want the eggs to lay flat in the pan. Once the oil is hot, add the mixed paste that we made earlier. Saute the paste for 5 minutes and add the grounded masalas. For this, I am adding about 1 tablespoon of Malwani masala, 1 tablespoon of Kashmiri lal, half a teaspoon of haldi powder. Adjust the heat and mix well. The water in the coconut masala will not let your masalas burn, but still keep an eye. Keep sauteing it for 2 to 3 minutes till you have the masala cooked very well as it will leave the floor of the pan and release the oils. Add the water to this paste once you see the masalas have left oil. Adjust the consistency of your curry. Depending if you're eating it with rice, then keep it a little liquid. If you're eating it with a roti, you can add a little water and adjust it later when you have your eggs added in. I added a little more of water because I know the water is going to evaporate when I add the eggs. Add salt to taste and let it simmer for 5 to 10 minutes. If you like to add some tang, then you can add 2 to 3 pieces of kokum or tamarind. My curry had come to a boil, so it's time to put the eggs one by one. We are going to crack the eggs directly into the curry. We are not going to boil them or pre-cook them. So I've placed my one egg in one corner. Similarly, start placing your eggs in each corner of the pan. Place the eggs in such a way that there is enough gap for the egg to spread and cook evenly. This is the reason why we have taken a flat pan instead of a kadai or a wok to make the egg curry. The count was 2 eggs per person in my family, so I've added it accordingly. You can place the eggs according to your family. Add some coriander and let it boil. At this point, even if you are tempted to move the curry around, do not use the spatula. Just shake the pan and move the curry so that the curry does not stick to the bottom, neither the eggs stick at the bottom. So once your eggs are cooked, it's ready to serve. Now for the potluck picnic, I made some liver masala along with the barbecue. This is the recipe for the liver masala. For this, I've taken a cast iron pan on heat. The reason I've taken a cast iron pan is because it's very easy to manipulate heat and maintain it and saute it for a longer time. Add any oil of your choice. Then add some chopped onion, garlic, chili and ginger. I actually added everything to my chopper, gave it a 2-3 grinds and it was ready. So this was a quick and easy method for me. Add salt at this stage and let the onions be translucent. Keep sauteing it for good 5 minutes as we want the onions, garlic, chili and ginger all to be cooked at once and leave the raw smell. Once your onion, garlic and ginger and chilies are all done, you can add the tomatoes. Same way, I have put 3 to 4 tomatoes medium size into my chopper, gave it a small pulse and it was chopped easily. So I do not have to sit and cut them. Cook the tomatoes till they release water. We want the tomatoes to be really soft so that when we add the masalas, they are not burnt. Once you see all your tomatoes have oozed out all the liquids, add in the Malwari masala or any masala that you have. You can also add any chicken masala if you have in your pantry. Add some tikha lal or kuti lal or even Kashmiri lal for that red color with some spice. And then the same in drill, a little bit of a haldi powder. Now again adjust the heat so that your masalas do not burn and give it a good stir. Do not let it catch at the bottom. If your masalas are getting catched at the bottom, add some few drops of water so that the temperature of the pan is maintained and you do not burn them. Add 1 tablespoon of coriander powder and jeera powder, that is cumin powder, for a little bit of a taste. One of my family member does not eat anything sour, so we cannot add anything like lime juice or chaat masala. So I've skipped adding the raw mango powder, that is the amchur powder, which I regularly add in this. If you have a choice, then please do add. It does give a nice zing to the dish. Keep bhunofying or roasting this masalas very well until you have all the raw odors gone and your kitchen is full of aromas. Once your masala is all done, add about half a kg or 750 grams of chicken liver to this mix. Make sure your chicken liver is all clean and does not have any blood residues in it. Now it's time to cook this liver into the masala for at least 10 minutes. Keep sauteing your chicken liver until it starts releasing water. In this case, I have used chicken liver. You can also use mutton liver in the similar fashion, but it's just a little twist to this that the mutton liver takes a little longer time. So you can add it to a pressure cooker with some haldi and cook it for about 15 minutes and then add it to the masala. I have now covered my chicken liver and let it simmer. You can see my chicken liver has released a lot of water. So I'm going to keep sauteing it without covering it until it's completely dry. Also in between, keep giving a check with salt as we had added the salt only to the onion. My chicken liver was completely cooked and I had garnished it with some coriander. It's time to place it into a tin box or a microwavable box and freeze it until I take it for the potluck picnic. I had packed this chicken liver into a container, let it cool down and then placed it into the freezer. Next morning, I had taken it out from the freezer and placed it into my ice box. Let's begin with marinating the chicken for the barbecue that we had planned, starting with the Pahadi Tandoori. For this, I have taken 1 kg chicken. To make the Pahadi masala, I am going to take my trusted mixer jar and I am going to add some stems of the coriander which actually bring out the real flavors. Break this into pieces and add it. Next, I am going to add a whole bunch of coriander. Do not be conjuice with coriander at all. We need the green color and this color comes from the green coriander. Yes, you can also include stems of this coriander along with the leaves. You do not have to just put the leaves, you can also put the stems. Add about 5 to 7 chilies to this because we are not going to add any red chili powder to this. So make sure the spices are adjusted with the green chilies itself. Add 7 to 8 or big cloves or small cloves which are 8 to 10 of garlic, a bunch of pudina and a small piece of ginger for taste. If you think you need the pungent red color, then you can also add a few drops of green color, food color, or skip it. I have skipped it. Add about 2 tablespoons of yogurt to this. Add salt to taste. Salt has to be according to the masala and the 1 kg chicken that we are going to marinate. Without adding any water, give it a pulse and then place your chicken into a Ziploc bag, which is also going to be your marinade procedure. I have cleaned and dried my chicken. I have pat dried it with tissue so that there is no excess water. The Ziploc bags had made my work so easy that I just added chicken to the Ziploc bag and the masala that we had grounded and mixed it. In this case, I did not add the chaat masala or the amchur powder, which is supposed to add in all the tikkas, but I skipped it because I told you earlier that one of my family members does not eat it. Just close the Ziploc bag tightly and mix the chicken and the masalas very well, and it's literally very easy to mix it. Yes, I also forgot to mention I added about 1 tablespoon of mustard oil for that flavor which you get in the tandoor. Sorry, the restaurant style tandoor. Once your chicken is all mixed, just close the Ziploc bag, remove the excess air from it, and then just fold it and place it into the freezer. I had placed this overnight so that it was freezed in the morning and it was easy to travel in a nice bag. I was cooking for 14 people starter for one evening, so I had to keep the quantity high. The next one which I am going to marinate is the pepper tandoori, which is a garlicky pepper tandoori. Same old, 1 kg chicken, washed, clean and dried. This marinade is very simple and very tasty. To start with a mixer jar, take about 15 to 12 cloves of garlic, because yes, this is a very garlicky tandoor. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of jeera powder, that is cumin powder, and about 1 tablespoon of black pepper. You can go ahead and directly add 1 tablespoon of pepper powder, but I chose to freshly ground it. Add the black pepper generously, as this is the only spicy element or ingredient that we're going to add into this marinade. You can see it's a whole lot of pepper, so do not be confused on the pepper this time. Again, same old, 2 tablespoons of yogurt to this. Give it a good mix without adding any water. Grind it till it's in the fine paste. And of course, I need not say, add salt as per taste and add the mustard oil for that authentic restaurant style tandoor flavor. To marinate the chicken, I did the same thing. Open a wide mouth of a Ziploc bag. Place all the chicken inside. You can also give cuts to your chicken if you want. But this time I thought we were marinating it for about 1 entire day, so it would be enough to not give the cuts and enjoy it as it is. Add the masala to the Ziploc bag. Cover it well and mix properly. In this marinade, if you add a little bit of cream to this with some chaat masala or raw mango powder, it will be your malai tikka. So next time, if you wish to make a version of this, you can also make the malai tikka of it. Again, I gave a good mix, removed the excess air of the Ziploc bag, ziplocked it tightly and placed it into the freezer. It was stone hard till the morning and it was good to go with my ice box. Now this was just for barbecue, but you can do these marinades on regular basis and place them in your fridge. My next marinade was chicken tandoori. I have a recipe on my channel already, which I had made chicken tandoori in the air fryer. It's the same recipe, it's just that I have used chicken whole legs instead of the raw chicken this time. To begin with, I've added 8 to 10 cloves of garlic, some ginger paste as I was out of ginger at this point of time, some coriander leaves for that little taste of coriander in my tandoori, some chili depending upon how much you like, as we are going to add the red chili powder, so adjust the taste accordingly. Add a few spoons of yogurt. I have added 2.5 spoons of yogurt without adding any water to this. Mix this to a very fine paste. I added salt for the entire chicken into this mix so that it becomes easy when I grind this and directly mix it with the chicken. This will also marinate the chicken very well as the salt will reach all the chicken parts very easily. So I have these whole legs to my chicken tandoori. I'm going to give a big cuts to this until I reach the bone. I am giving really deep cuts till I feel the bone on my knife. This will help your chicken to be marinated really well as the masalas will be going through the bone, inside the flesh, in and out. So by this time of the recipe, I had started to love my Ziploc bags. I had directly placed my chicken legs in the Ziploc bag, added the green masala that we grounded, the Kashmiri lal, the tandoori mirch, and some of the masala that I got from my previous picnic, which was a little bit of a Malwani style, but it was really good. These kombdi mutton masalas that you get in the rural bazaars, they had actually taken my tandoori to the next level. I added about 1 tablespoon of mustard oil. Of course, this gives that perfect taste of tandoor, and a little bit of a haldi to balance out. I then closed my Ziploc bag, mixed it really well, and placed it into my fridge to marinate, turn into ice so that I can carry it next day in my ice box. My family barbecue turned out to be a super hit. It was right next to the pool where kids actually were swimming, we were barbecuing, and everybody was eating and having a good time. I wish I could have vlogged more and shown you what my cousins bought for me and potluck. This was my birthday vlog, a few glimpses of my pool party, a few glimpses of my cricket, and the little birthday cake from my husband. So this was it for today. If you have liked my recipes, then do hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. This is your Bakasur Mama Ritika, and I'll see you soon or maybe just tomorrow with another vlog. Thank you for watching.